If you're living a normal, modern lifestyle, then you're probably making some very common mistakes that are actually killing your testosterone levels, and they're leaving you with less energy, less vigor, and less libido than you deserve. So in this video, I'm going to show you 5 really major testosterone killing mistakes that I see men make all the time, and I'm going to show you how to fix them. Be sure to watch until the end because I'm going to show you how to overcome the absolute biggest testosterone killing mistake that almost every man makes. Testosterone killing mistake number 1 is not exercising enough and just not moving enough in general. So our modern world has us sitting indoors pretty much all day long, and just that thing alone, just sitting inside all day, is actually killing men's testosterone levels. Because if we just sit around all day, even if we're working and using our minds, we're telling our body that it doesn't even need to be strong enough to just stand up and walk around for more than a minute or two. And that alone is murder on your testosterone. So the men with the highest natural testosterone levels are active and they're moving around as much as possible all day long. So surfers are a great example of this. They're out on the water all day, riding waves, getting sun, swimming and paddling around, and they're just constantly moving. And as a result, they have some of the highest natural testosterone levels out there. Now, I personally don't surf, but I keep moving all day with a standing desk in my outdoor office, and I walk at least 8,000 steps every day. I also work out and do strength training 5 to 6 days a week to build muscle, which also raises testosterone levels. So if you're sitting inside like I used to do 10 years ago, then I want to urge you to just do something to break up that monotony of sitting all day. Just go outside and walk. That's a great start, because walking more really is job number 1. And then job number 2 is going to be to do some strength training. But don't try to go from 0 to 100 overnight with exercise, because that can lead you to testosterone killing mistake number 2, which is too much exercise or exercising too intensely for your current level of health, your current testosterone level, and your current recovery ability. Now, I know I just told you that you need to work out more, and that is true for most men, but some men are going too far in the other direction. They're doing very long workouts every day, they're pushing to their limits, and they're pushing past their limits. And that can lead to burnout, and it can actually create a crash in a man's testosterone levels. So exercise is a wonderful stressor, but it is a stressor, and you have to dose it correctly. So that's why I show my clients how they can build muscle with just 20-minute workouts. And those short workouts mean that we never have a spike in our cortisol. So a lot of men don't know this, but too much exercise or just overly long workouts can actually chronically raise your cortisol levels. And then that chronically elevated cortisol will actually lower a man's testosterone levels. So I use exercise in a very targeted way, and I show my clients how to balance their stressors with their recovery. Because the right amount of exercise is great for promoting high testosterone levels, but every man's stress tolerance goes up or down according to his diet, his sleep quality, and his overall lifestyle habits. So if your life is super stressful or if your sleep has been bad lately, then you should probably dial down your workout intensity. In fact, if you've been feeling beat up, if your body's got a lot of little aches and pains, it's probably a good idea to just take a week or 2 and do what's called a deload. And that just means for that week or 2 weeks ideally, you're gonna do workouts that are super easy. And so when you're doing a deload, really each workout is more like a glorified warm-up than an actual workout. So you wanna cut the weight really low and just do a couple of high rep sets per body part. Just get some blood flowing and keep the workout super short. So you'll know if you did a deload workout the right way because you'll actually feel more energized afterward, and you'll wish that you were going to do a real workout instead of just a deload workout. So if you do that for a week, or probably 2 weeks would be better, your body's gonna feel a lot better. Your joints are gonna feel better, and those little aches and pains are probably gonna go away, or at least they're gonna get a lot better. The key there, though, is your diet has to be on point. If you're eating crap, you're not gonna feel better, you're not gonna heal better. So that brings me to the third thing that's probably killing your testosterone, and that's eating too much processed food. So I'm just gonna be really blunt here. The standard American diet and all of its processed food is killing you. Not just your testosterone, it's just killing all of you. So it was killing me once upon a time, and that's why 10 years ago I was 85 pounds overweight and my testosterone level was just 307 nanograms per deciliter. But today I'm lean and muscular, and I have a natural testosterone level of 1,196 nanograms per deciliter. And my first big step on that journey of better health and more testosterone was cutting out processed foods. And so people always ask, well, what are processed foods? What does that even mean? So some examples are things like bread, pasta, chips, crackers, cakes, donuts, all fast food most restaurant food, and anything that's made with high fructose corn syrup. So these foods are popular because they're cheap, they're really easy to mass produce, and they taste really good. So these processed foods taste so good that they bypass our natural satiety signals. And that means that we eat more of them when we should actually be full. We also eat more of these processed foods because they don't have any micronutrient value. So we have to eat a lot of calories from these foods just to feel full for a little while. And they taste so good that they're actually addictive to your taste buds, they're addictive to your gut, and they're addictive to your brain. And this isn't just hype. We're actually addicted to processed food, and it's killing us. Now, this addiction isn't necessarily one where you can just stop cold turkey because you have to eat something, right? I mean, fasting forever just isn't an option. So as a starting point, what I recommend is just take one day a week where you don't eat any processed foods. And so on this one day, you're gonna have to plan a little bit, but you just wanna eat whole foods. And for your carbohydrates, you wanna get those from things like rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, squashes, fruit, and honey. And then after that, just start having more whole food meals throughout your week. Now, another diet mistake that kills testosterone is number 4 on this list, and that's not eating enough high quality animal protein. So if we want to have optimal health and high testosterone levels, we need to be eating high quality animal protein. And I'm sorry, but vegan and vegetarian protein just doesn't have the right amino acid profile. And that means high quality meat is required for optimal testosterone levels. I don't make the rules. But the reality is that any diet that's lacking in high quality animal protein is going to eventually lead a man to having low testosterone levels. So we need high quality animal protein because protein is the basis of all of our organs and especially our muscles. And most men just don't eat enough protein, and the protein they do eat is usually not high quality. So when I say high quality protein, I'm not talking about meats from animals on factory farms that are full of hormones and antibiotics and fed grains their whole lives. High quality means animals that live their lives on a pasture, eating their natural diet of grass, and they aren't injected with any drugs. So the king of high quality meat is beef or buffalo that's grass fed and grass finished. And the grass finished part is important because that means that they weren't fed grains at all. So grass finished beef has an ideal ratio of omega-3 and 6 fats, and it's very rich in micronutrients. Wild caught fish is another high quality meat, but it needs to be wild caught, not farmed, because farm fish is usually very toxic. Grass-fed beef liver is also great because it's incredibly dense in micronutrients, and it's also high in protein, and you only need a few ounces of it a week. So if you just stop eating processed foods and you start eating more high quality animal protein, you'll see some real health improvements. And since I'm talking a lot about diet in this video, testosterone killing mistake number 5 is drinking too much alcohol. So a consistent habit of having just a couple of drinks a night will lower a man's testosterone levels. Now, why is that? Well, on one level, it's because alcohol is a mild poison. And when you poison your body, it has to work to detoxify that poison. And that means it's just going to be less effective at everything else, including your hormone production. Now that sounds like some super basic common sense, right? And maybe it sounds too simplistic. So what does science have to say about alcohol? There are multiple well-constructed studies that show that just one night of moderate drinking can lower testosterone levels the next day by 30%. That's a huge amount, and heavy drinking is even worse. Another study showed that a night of heavy alcohol consumption can raise cortisol levels in the body for 3 days afterward. And remember what I said earlier, that raising your cortisol levels will suppress your testosterone. And so this means that just one night of heavy drinking can actually blunt your testosterone levels for 3 days. Now, that might not be a big deal if you only do it once a month, but if you're doing it every week or twice a week, you're gonna have chronically elevated cortisol levels and chronically lower testosterone. Also, after a night of sleeping, a person gets less deep sleep because their body is busy detoxing that alcohol. And as you probably know, good sleep is hugely important for having good testosterone levels. Now, drinking alcohol on a regular basis can also lead to weight gain, and higher body fat levels are also another reason for high cortisol and low testosterone. So the reality here is that drinking too much alcohol really is the biggest killer of a man's natural testosterone levels. Now, the solution is simple, but it's not always easy. You just need to drink less often, and you need to drink fewer drinks when you do drink. Now, personally, the last time I drank was probably at least 4 months ago, and I had 1 drink, and that was it. So while cutting back is a good place to start, if you haven't taken a break from alcohol in a while, I highly recommend just taking a break from it for at least 2 weeks. Make it a month if you can. Your body will thank you. So if you can make it a whole month without alcohol, I guarantee you'll feel the difference. You'll have more energy, you'll probably lose some belly fat, and you just might lose a lot of the interest that you used to have in alcohol. Then when you do drink, keep it down to 1 or 2 drinks just every now and then. Now, if you can do that, you'll never have that massive alcohol-induced cortisol spike that I've been talking about. And it's gonna be great for your health, and it's gonna be great for your testosterone levels. So now that you know these 5 testosterone-killing mistakes that almost every man makes, here's a video on how to naturally double or even triple your testosterone levels. And it has information you're absolutely gonna need, so be sure to check it out.